Welcome to another video from Play Simple Chords. In this video tutorial, I'm going to cover a chord progression that you can use to apply some of the techniques that were discussed in the previous passing chord videos. This isn't a song, but it is a chord progression that incorporates a lot of the sounds that you hear in some of the contemporary Christian songs today. Let's look at a chord progression that incorporates some of the concepts that were contained in the Passing Chords series. We're going to be in the key of B flat this time, so let's look at the scale for the key of B flat. B flat is the 1, C is the 2, D is the 3, E flat 4, F is 5, G 6, A is 7, and then we're back to the root, B flat. Now let's look at what was added in that chord progression that was from the Passing Chords series. Okay, we started off with the 1. Now, we could have led into the 1, as you recall from the Passing Chords series. We could have led into it with a 2-5-1. And again, the 2 and the 5 could have been any kind of alteration of a minor 7 chord or a dominant 7 chord. In this example, I'm just using a standard version where you're using a C minor 9th going to a F9 13 and then back to the B flat 1. So that's the concept of using a 2-5-1 passing chord, or a 2-5 to get to the 1. So another thing you can do with that is has to do with how you voice the chord. So you could start it out with just the 5 and then go to the 1. And there's a little pattern that I saw or have seen other videos where they're playing the song "Oh Give Thanks Unto the Lord" by Judith McAllister, and they'll play the 5-1 this way. Now what that really is just the F9 13 going to the 1 with a little rhythmical pattern played as part of the progression. So you could use that as the 5. On that little progression that I gave you, or you can use the 2-5-1. Then we went to the 7-3-6. And we know that this 7-3-6 is really a 2-5-1 in the key of G harmonic minor, because the D chord in the scale of B flat is not a dominant chord. So in order to get that dominant chord, you borrow this progression from the G minor, G harmonic minor. So that's where the 2, 5, Then you go to a 5, 1, 4, and that 5, 1, 4 is borrowed from the Ionian major of E flat. So it's actually a 2, 5, 1 in the key of E flat. So you would go. So that's borrowed from E flat. And then the rest of the progression stays diatonic. You go to a D, D minor to a G minor. Only in my example, I changed that to a G7 flat 9. So I made it a dominant. So I borrowed that chord from another scale, which we'll talk about later. And then you go back to D, then C, and then D, E flat major. All of these are diatonic. And then you'll play E flat over G, F over A, and then a B flat major. You will find that these concepts can be easily applied to your hymns, because most of your hymns, especially the worshipy hymns, the slower ones, they use mainly just primary chords. They use the 1, the 4, and the 5, and occasionally they'll use other diatonic chords just as fill-ins. So let's take for an example, What a Friend We Have in Jesus. It starts on the 1, which is, in this case, we're going to use E flat. What a friend we have in Jesus, to the 4, and then back to 1, all our sins and griefs he bears, and then we go to the 5, and then what a privilege to carry everything to God in prayer. So basically it's just the 1, 4, 5 in its most basic form, and with a lot of gospel-y octaves and stuff like that. So if you want to make it sound a little more contemporary, then you can apply these concepts I've been teaching in these last few videos. So look at it in E flat. We can go 1, and then we're going to go 5, 1, 4, 5, 1 to 4, and then we're going to use that diminished passing chord that we talked about before, and then you can go back to 1. So that's an example of how you can use it in a song that primarily just has 1, 4, 5, and it's a hymn. What a friend we have in Jesus. So that's one example of a hymn where you can use these concepts. I hope you find this information helpful in learning how to apply passing chords to a chord progression. In future videos, I will be covering this topic for each key, each of the 12 major keys, and we'll be applying it to a song. So if you have not subscribed, you'll want to subscribe and hit the notification button so you can be made aware of when these videos post. Thank you for watching my tutorials. Simple chords are the building blocks for making advanced chords. And I hope you find that these tutorials are helpful to you on your musical journey. Please like, subscribe, and share these tutorials with others who have a desire to learn how to play music at the piano. I look forward to sharing other tutorials with you in future videos.